What is up everyone? I am making a follow-up video to this iMac sooner rather than later. I am doing the same thing today. This is technically sort of like my elongated lunch break that I don't always get, but this week there's not that many showtimes in work, so I've got the opportunity to do it. Before we do anything with iMac, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone for the awesome response on yesterday's video. It hasn't even been up 24 hours and I've already got 4,000 views and 350 likes. I mean, I'm not a massive numbers guy at all, I don't focus on them whatsoever, but that is amazing. The support that you guys give me, even when I've been particularly rubbish on the channel, is just phenomenal, so thank you so much everyone. Really glad you enjoyed the video. I'm going to begin today by talking about a couple of comments that I received, and we are going to test to see if there is any substance to this. So here we have the cable that I used in yesterday's video, a Cloverleaf IEC C5. A couple of people commented saying that this power cable will not power the iMac G4, so it could be the cable I was using. Took a look at the only official Cloverleaf Apple power cable that I have, and unfortunately it does not have a UK plug. So we are going to chop that plug off, put a UK plug on this cable. Not great to chop up a lovely quality Apple cable, but this is all in the name of science at this point. And we are going to see if there is any difference at all. There's a slight difference to the moulding. I was told in the comment section that the pins or prongs are longer on the Apple version. That is not the case. They are the exact same length, like 100% down to a fraction of a millimeter. But the moulding of the back piece is ever so slightly different. So let's see if there's any chance that those comments could be correct. Does this power cable go into the machine further, making proper contact? I just don't know. I really do not know, but I want to find out right now. So we are going to change that plug, and for that we will actually need a plug. Yes, I do have some. Excellent. So before anybody asks, no, I cannot find my travel adapter, which would just be so much easier. And other than, I do have another one of these Apple Cloverleaf power cables, but it is currently in my server rack powering the Mac Mini, so I do not want to go and disrupt that setup right now. That's a whole other can of worms that I just don't want to open. So we are going to quickly fit a rather nasty looking UK plug on the end of this gorgeous Apple cable. Alright guys, I'm going to do everything on camera so you can see it start to finish, so that you can see if this does work, doesn't work, whatever. You'll be part of it the whole way. So I'm even going to show you the inside of the plug. I'm not playing any tricks. Here we have the plug wired up, neutral, live. There's a fuse in it. It's a 13 amp fuse, so not ideal, but I can change it at a later date. Earth, all wired up properly. Doing all of this live. So let's move some of this junk out of the way. Off to the side. You guys can see this power cable that I've just changed the plug on. We'll plug it in to the back of the iMac. That is 100% pushed in. And I shall grab the camera. Let me just change to my handy handle. Okay, so here we have it. Plug, drop it down the back. And apologies for all this mess under here, folks. We've got quite a mixture of different things happening under here. But I know that this one is the one that I plugged in yesterday. I'm actually quite excited about this. If this works, oh my gosh. Okay, so unplugged. Here's the plug. Okay, that is in, folks, that is in. Let's see if there was any substance to those comments at all. 3, 2, 1, go. Nothing. Not a sausage. So someone in the comments yesterday said stick it on the watt meter and see what is going on. It is actually pulling about 2 watts, fluctuating between 1.9 and 2.1. Let's unplug the computer. Okay, 0. So the computer is pulling a slight amount of juice. On the initial plug-in there, went straight up to 4, 2. So she is pulling some juice. That's interesting. That is really interesting. So I'm going to leave this iMac plugged in. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I'm going to listen to another comment. We're going to continue using this official Apple cable, now that we know that that could be a factor. So it would only be that plastic moulding, that would be the only difference. There cannot physically be any other difference. It's just a mains cable. But if that moulding makes ever so slightly, if it's just not making contact, but I could kind of feel that it was with the other cable, but we'll see. Actually, we could just try the other cable on the watt meter and see if it was making contact. Oh, folks, turns out there was a shed load of substance to those comments. Here's the cable I was using yesterday, and it's pushed in as far as it'll go. Feels really snug and in, but just because of that plastic moulding, it's not quite making contact. So, if we plug in the official Apple cable, change it out here. So, yes, indeed, my word. We're making progress. As I say, I'm going to listen to another comment and leave this iMac plugged in now, because someone mentioned that they had an iMac G4 that was not booting up. I believe it was a G4 anyway, and they left it plugged in for a little while, and it eventually came back to life. Someone also mentioned that the power button could be broken, but it is likely the PSU was gone. We'll see. Holy crap, guys. Yes, I caught the bong! Oh my word! Do you know? Oh! Oh wow! Oh my word! Okay. I'll explain what happened in a minute. What's it gonna do, guys? What's it gonna do? What is that? What is that? Bit of damage to the screen, eh? Ooh, look at that. There's a bit of disruption there to the screen. See how that goes. Oh, no way. No way, no way. No way. I knew I should have recorded every single time I did this. Basically, this afternoon, I've been walking past, doing my work and stuff, and I've just been jabbing the power button every now and again. And lo and behold, this time I jabbed it. Lucky I left the camera just sat there. This time I jabbed it and she fired right up. Ah, yes. Here she comes. Ooh, okay. What is that? Musical Suicide Dacio? What is that? I'm gonna get a keyboard and mouse going. Oh, guys, I just plugged in a keyboard and guessed the bloody password. It was 1 through 6. And we are in. Oh my word. I need a mouse. I need some light on the subject. I need a mouse. Oh gosh. Yeah, little password hint on there, 1 through 6. It was 6-1. So I tried it backwards and it wasn't doing it. So I did it the other way around and it did it. It logged me in. I was trying 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 1, and then I was in within like 30 seconds. Sweet. Okay, folks. I've discovered a few things while browsing around here on the operating system. We are running, by the way, Mac OS 10.1.5. That's Puma. So we are talking old by today's standards. You know, normally on an old Mac, you typically find Panther or Tiger at the very least. And if it's anything earlier, it'll be OS 9. So to get one randomly running a very early version of OS 10 is not something I see very often, or have seen then. Not that I get these machines all the time, but it kind of like OS 10 wasn't really worth running until 10.2 and maybe even 10.3 Panther versus OS 9, depending on what you were doing, obviously, depending on what software you wanted, what applications. In terms of files, the only files that I found so far is 6 songs in iTunes, and all of them are missing locations, so it looks like there was some kind of external drive hooked up at some point. This is iTunes 2, by the way. Looks like everything was done externally. There's only 5 gigabytes used on the internal drive. The other bizarre thing is I cannot get the super drive to eject. It won't eject from the keyboard, and via DVD player it also won't let me eject here, so I'm not too sure if the optical drive is responding correctly. We have this weird circle in the corner of the screen, so there's a bit of damage there. Not too sure what that's all about, but oh my word, it is working! Looks like they did something with iPhoto at one time, because it's there and there's some iPhoto stuff, but there's no actual photos on here. There's a relatively up-to-date version of iMovie, maybe? Not really. It's not actually that up-to-date. It's just got the slightly newer icon, so it's not totally ancient. But still pretty old, actually. What is this? iMovie... Oh, look! The little intro video! I've never seen this. Oh, that's sick. That is sick. This does look like 2.1.1. That's handy. Oh, it comes up there when you press the About iMovie thing. That is awesome. Let's do it again. Ha! That's amazing. So yeah, not really an up-to-date version of iMovie. They must have used this icon for a while then. I thought they swapped to that icon for iMovie HD 2006. So yeah, I'm wrong there. I'm going to have a quick browse around, see if there's any documents on here at all, or anything that could reveal just a tiny bit more of what this computer might have been used for. I think it could be like maybe music related. There's a couple of missing locations here. Yeah, not too much else to report really. I'm in the ancient version of System Profiler here and just taking a little look. Turns out that the built-in memory is the 256 megs, so there's a full-size DIMM inside the iMac on the board, and that should be 256 meg. And then I believe you can put a SODIMM in the bottom to expand the RAM. These may take 768 megs maybe, or maybe a gig if you can change them both to 512s, which I believe you can do. Maybe even a little bit more, I'm not too sure. But yeah, I'm really not sure with these early models. I should have looked some of this up before recording the second part of this video. But yeah, the other interesting part is it does see the optical drive. It's a Pioneer drive. It says it's a DVD reader CD rewriter. So disk burning supported. I can't get it to open. There's no real way that I can see to open it. I'll continue looking. And as for connecting to my server, it can't see any of my network. I'm connected to the network. I can see the network connection, but I can't actually find anything. Maximum RAM 1 gig, so you can put 512 megabyte SODIMM and a 512 megabyte full-size DIMM inside, which is cool. Yeah, obviously none of these websites load on this ancient version of IE, so I had to look down the list of Google stuff here until it was in the description. It just obviously is ancient browser. Hey guys, I just found a load of deleted users and the shared folder, and there's a load of documents in there. I've just found all these random, like, gangster MP3s, proper low quality. There's loads and loads and loads of files in here, but the whole music folder is only 180 meg. And there is a lot of music in here. These are super low quality. It sounds nasty. I think the speaker in this could be damaged as well, but I can't quite tell. So I'm going to lift all of this music off of here. I'm going to get a pen drive. It's going to be a slow transfer, 180 meg, USB 1.1. Can't dump it on the network, still no joy with actually accessing any of my network stuff. Haven't got a FireWire disk to hand, but that's okay, we'll put up with USB 1.1, it'll be a blast from the past anyway. I'm going to rip all this music off here onto a little drive, and I'm going to listen to it on proper speakers, because I can't understand whether it's just the really bad quality MP3s or whether this speaker is a bit damaged. But I'm so glad I found some files. We've got progress. I'm going to try and alter some permissions because I can't access some folders. See if I'm an admin user and then change some settings. But yeah, I'll still keep delving, see what else I find. I love coming across this stuff. Let's open another track.
Hell no, no way I'm ever gonna pick a chick. Always pick cars over women, Yolanda or Designer. No question, leader of the S2000 Honda. Acura, 6 for yonder. Find that 15
Love it. Love it. How weird is this? USB 1.1, not quite as slow as I remember it. That is not too bad. You can just have a little look at the speeds there for those of you who aren't familiar with 1.1, and to be perfectly honest, I've had a nice little surprise there. 180 meg, not bad. Far cry from what we have today though. Also had to erase my pen drive, it wouldn't read in this computer, so it's just formatted under the standard Mac OS extended, and that's it. Yeah, so copying over the music at the moment, and I'm just chuffed a bit that this Mac is working. I would love to be able to open the disk drive and shove in a DVD. Whoops, I just started the screensaver. Yeah, it's kind of weird. This account is very empty, but there are a lot of deleted accounts. I was leaning towards the fact that this was a relatively fresh install, but I'm thinking the opposite now. I'm thinking it's a real bogged down old install, but with a lot of the main files deleted or something, or a lot of them were stored externally, because there's only 5 gig used. Let me just double check I'm right on that. Yeah, 55.89 and available is 50 gig, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to spend too much longer dwelling on this. I'm going to decide what I'm going to actually install on this thing. But yeah, this changes the whole course of action. It's a working iMac G4, so this changes everything. It's an official PowerPC Mac to add to my collection. I can clean it up and it'll look glorious. I cannot wait. So guys, I'm trying to figure out what's happening with the DVD drive. I've managed to get the little flap open. I pried the flap open, so just using the screwdriver to weigh it down. The only response I can get from the DVD drive is holding the mouse down on a startup. I've got the only DVD I have here is my box set of Shameless, quite era appropriate actually. So I got the first disc from Shameless here. It's a massive box set, so really hoping that the drive doesn't like eat up my disc. That's paranoia coming from fiddling with different video players, but let's just have a look. Hey, we got him. DVD in. Sweet. Okay, so when the operating system loads, hopefully we can get some action from a DVD. That would be pretty nice. I've made my own account just so everything's lovely and fresh. I've kept the other account on here. And also, let me pull out this pen drive actually before it loads up. Don't need that plugged in anymore. Oh yeah, that was too soon, Tom. So let's push in this DVD, see if it'll read it. Hopefully it will. Open the DVD player, help it along a little bit. Yeah, not much joy from the optical drive. Something strange going on with the optical drive. Doesn't seem to be like the operating system itself can communicate with the optical drive. Quite bizarre really, because I can open it when I restart, but yeah, we can't get a DVD playing in this. So that is something interesting. Yeah, we could change out the drive, try and get that working. I'll have a look, see if I've got some RAM that'll fit this. Yeah, we could really do some things with this machine now that we know it's working. So I would love to tinker all night with this thing, but unfortunately I have got to go back to work. I've already pushed it a little too far. I was meant to do quite a bit more normal work this afternoon, but yeah, this was a nice little distraction, I have to admit. It really was. There's some other not so fun stuff going on at the moment, so it's really lovely to sink time into something so fun. So just thinking out loud for a very brief moment here. Obviously you guys will see the next part of the video really soon, in just a few moments, because you're probably only about halfway through this video, or at least hopefully. But for me, thinking out loud right now, what I'm probably going to do in the remainder is clean up the iMac, because based on what we're seeing here, we can get some tremendous results. Also based on what we see here as well, this patch in the front that I cleaned. So we'll give it a right good going over. We'll do it properly. We won't just use the magic eraser. We'll use everything that we can to really clean this up. There's a lot of grime in the ports and stuff at the back, so we'll give it a right good going over. Also, in terms of operating system, as cool as it is to have 10.1 on here, I will probably install 10.3. I don't know whether I'm going to partition the drive and keep 10.1 on here just for fun, because to be perfectly honest, as cool as it is, I would not use this operating system. If I want an old OS on a machine, I could easily use a different machine that I have. The reason that I'd be keen to get Panther on here specifically is because it will make my life easier accessing things like my servers. Also, I'll be able to run some applications. Nothing runs on 10.1, like pretty much nothing. So Panther will actually be able to run some of my stuff, so we can do some testing and play around with the machine a little bit. Whereas now we're kind of a bit limited to what's on here already, unless I really, really go hunting online. And also, it's just a little bit... it's old enough that it'll still be speedy on this machine. If I go as far as Tiger, it'll be really boring because I install Tiger on everything. And, you know, a few people have called me out on that in the past. For instance, doing the world's fastest G3, it runs Tiger. That kind of makes sense. But I just don't want to bung Tiger on every single Mac just because that's the maximum it supports. I think Panther will be a really cool middle ground on here. It'll run Tiger. 256 megs of RAM will run Tiger. That's the minimum requirement. But no, I'm feeling Panther on this one. I am definitely feeling Panther. So I have got the official install disc. Someone left a comment on the last part of the video about my little habit here. But no, this will be an official install, and we may have some classic IMNC operating system installation troubles with this one because of the dodgy optical drive, so I'm sure you guys will love that. So I'm very much looking forward to doing that. I'll see you guys in just a few moments on video, but unfortunately for me, I've got to do a few shifts at work and wait all this time. Oh no. And just to prove to you guys I'm not secretly enjoying tinkering with the machine and not recording it, I'm going to shut it down. There it goes. Bye bye iMac. I'll return to you soon. Alright folks, I am back the next day ready to continue working on this lovely little iMac. Well, working is probably a bit of a stretched use of the term there. We've just been fiddling and messing around with it. So let's continue to do exactly that. I'm going to mount you guys on the tripod and I'm going to get to work cleaning this iMac. Went round the entire outside of the machine, and as you guys can see, lots and lots and lots of horrible dirt. When I say outside of the machine, I just mean cotton buds in these vents, and it's still not perfect. But we're not aiming for perfect, we're just aiming for a generally cleaned up machine. I'm so pleased with the condition of this. As I go through it, I can tell that it's in glorious condition, all things considered. I'm going to finish off on the bottom here, put the bottom plate back on. I wanted to access this acrylic here because there was a lot of this horrible, very, very yellowy brown coloured dirt on the inside of the acrylic. Where's that? Oh, look at that. That's the corner I used for that. So all of that was spread around the inside. And it's pretty good now, but I'll go around it again. And then we're pretty much just done on the bottom of the machine. I'll just get some more of the outside casing. It's looking a lot better, a lot whiter, as you can probably tell. Check it out, everyone. Look at the condition of this glorious iMac G4. I'm going to wait for the base to sort of even out a little bit. You can kind of see the difference between where I initially cleaned it and how it's looking now. But like, yeah, I can come back to it. That's no big deal. What took the longest time was using all of these cotton buds to clear out the gunk from all of the vents underneath and all of these little holes at the top here where the fan is. The display bezel has come out absolutely gloriously. The only scratch on the screen is right up here in the top right hand corner. Then of course we've got that sort of blemish in the top left, but that's okay. The arm still needs greasing, obviously. Someone did recommend a good way to do that in the comment section of part 1, so I will check out that comment and follow up on that advice for sure. If we turn her around, you guys can see a little bit of sort of not scratching as such, but just sort of scuffing on the back here. But all of the ports are in much nicer condition. Not perfect, but much nicer. The whole thing is just looking gorgeous right now. I need to do a little bit more work on the clear plastic around the screen, just a little bit. It's pretty good. Back of the screen is very good. Very pleased with that. And yeah, that's about as much as we have time for today. I really do want to look into tightening the display. There's wobble on the arm here. That's where the majority of the wobble is. But if I hold the arm still, there's also wobble on just the LCD. So want to get that sorted. We are getting there with part 2, folks. We are getting there. That was a big cleaning session, a good hour and a half, just scrubbing away at this Mac. Totally worth it. I'm not going to power it up now just because I use quite a lot of wet stuff. So if any has gone into any of these compartments, it can dry out overnight tonight, and then we'll give it a fire up tomorrow. Oh, and the condition of the arm itself, man, is looking gorgeous. So nice. I've only gone over it with a cloth. Haven't actually polished it properly or anything, and it's still looking absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, I'm a very happy man right now. This iMac is beautiful. Okay, folks, it is Saturday night at about 8:10. My 2 kids are next door in bed asleep, so apologies for the quieter tones. Jess is out with her friends. That leaves me alone. And what does any man do when they are left alone? Extremely rare circumstance. How do you seize that moment? What do? You install a 15, maybe even 17-year-old operating system on a Mac that is equally as old, if not older. I wouldn't dream of doing anything else right now. I've been desperate to play with this machine for days. I recorded the last part of this video about 3 days ago, where we cleaned it all up. So I've just been desperate to return to it. So without further ado, let's get the keyboard and mouse. I'm still going with the Panther plan. We will try and get it installed. So my legit copy of Panther is the CD version. So it comes on 3 discs. I've installed this in a video in the past, I think I installed it on my iMac G3 many moons ago, probably about 8-9 years ago. But today it is going on the iMac G4. Hello? Okay guys, I've waited about 20 minutes and I still can't get him to power up, which is quite gutting really. Yes, definitely needs a new PRAM battery, that's for sure, but I'm just hoping that during my cleaning I didn't kill anything. Can't really see how I would have. As always, I'm extremely careful. I just hope if I leave it plugged in a little bit longer it'll be absolutely fine. Note to self, in the future, leave this iMac constantly plugged in. I think that's quite important. Let's give it one more go. It's kind of a bummer because this is a good opportunity to do this video. Oh man. Okay, I'll wait a little longer. So about an hour of my dedicated time to record this portion of the video for you guys has now been wasted waiting for the machine to turn on. And I'm getting a bit nervous because an hour is a long time, and I'm kind of thinking that maybe there's another problem. I'm not quite there yet with that thought process. I'm still hanging in there. I don't have anything productive that I can really be doing to fill the time here, so that's so annoying. Basically, I was going to let the OS install and make this portion of the video. I really hope I can do that, because failing this, then it's going to put a whole new delay on things, which kind of sucks, because I was so hyped to do this part of the video, or this whole video in fact, and get part 2 out to you guys before the weekend was over. It's Saturday night, by the way. I can't do it tomorrow, so come on, iMac, please. So it has been about 10 days since that last clip that I recorded. I was giving the iMac plenty of time to sit there plugged in with mains electricity trickling into it. And unfortunately, the iMac is now back to a state of not working at all, which is a massive shame. I really hope I didn't kill anything when I was cleaning, folks. I mean, I can't see that I did. I really hope not anyway. It might just be one of those luck of the draw things. My guess at the moment is initially it wouldn't boot because of the dead PRAM battery, and it needed to be plugged in for a good amount of time in order to fire up. So that's what happened first time round, that's my guess. And then this time round I'm assuming that it's just a faulty PSU. Old machine hasn't been used in a long time and the PSU has given up. So hopefully that's not the case. I wish I really hope then that it's something simpler. I hope that I can just change the PRAM battery and just like reseat some RAM or something and this machine is as good as new. I would really like that. Because the thing is, I know that in part 1 I was talking about, oh yeah, let's see if we can mod it and stuff and do something else with it. Yeah, that's all well and good, but now I've kind of been teased. When I thought it was a broken iMac, when I thought it was a broken, really rough iMac, I was really happy to butcher it and shove something else in the base, or try and repair this if it looked feasible or seemed feasible. But the thing is, now that this iMac has teased me and I know that it works, it's very capable of working. It works, I can't really. I'm not at that stage now where I want to rip it apart. So, or at least rip it to pieces to put something else in there. God, it's one of those things. I just hope that it boots, because I really want to install Panther and just have it as another Mac in my collection of working Macs. So here's the plan. I'm going to upload this as part 2. I'm not going to let it hang because this is already a decent sort of medium length video, medium length by my standards, so hopefully entertaining enough for you guys as its own video. And then part 3 down the line, I guess, will be cracking it open, because I have not opened it up yet. That's something that we can do. I need to refresh myself on opening the iMac before opening the iMac, because I really don't want to mess it up. So we will open it up, see what's going on. We'll do all that in part 3. I don't know when it's going to be, but it's sitting there now, so it's quite convenient to do. So it'll be a nice rainy afternoon thing to do one of these days. So part 3 will be trying to get it back up and running. I'll order a PRAM battery, I'll see what I can do. So this is ongoing, folks. I hope you've enjoyed part 2. It's been a little bit of a ride. It's not booting, it's booting, it's not booting, it's booting, crazy little thing. It's just teasing us. It's giving us good entertainment, so yeah, that's one thing. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in another video very, very soon.